So 2025, first video. Hopefully everybody had a good New Year's, happy holidays, whatever the heck you go through. So yes, happy holidays, happy New Year's. I already kind of said that before in the last video, but hopefully everybody had a good holiday season because now we're in 2025 and I'm not actually recording this video in 2025. This will be the first video of 2025, but let's talk about what I have planned in terms of bearded dragons for 2025. Let's get to it. What's up, YouTube? So yes, I've already started working on 2025. I've already had 4 pairings pan out. I've had visual locks with 4 pairings. Sometimes you don't get visual locks with all the pairings, but as you all know, as I've told you probably several times before, I like to stagger out my breedings throughout the year to make sure that I'm not getting overwhelmed the entire year. So I got something in my eye. Let's get it out. So first things first, what is happening? Somebody found some food. So first things first, let's go through the pairings that I've already worked on, started on, and our visual locks and everything. So let's start doing that. But before we get into that, I want to mention one thing. I have a 3,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. If not, I'll link the video somewhere. I don't know where it pops up anymore. I think it's up here on this corner. I don't know. But essentially, that is the 3,000 subscriber giveaway. So the details will be in that video there. We're almost there. We're like a little over 100 subscribers away. And then I will announce the winner of the 3,000 subscriber giveaway. But now we can run into talking about what we've already paired for 2024. 2025, Jesus, this is gonna happen probably to everybody. You're gonna keep saying 2024 because that's how it works. I don't know. So this right here is our first male. He is Yarrow, and he is a hypo yellow citrus genetic stripe, and he is possible head translucent. Not too worried about the translucent part. If you've been watching my videos for a while now, you should know that I have actually tried to get rid of the translucent morphs in my citrus lines just to make the yellows a lot more vibrant with the hypo. Translucent does work very well with yellow, but it also gives them a green-orange hue depending on the shade of yellow. So if it has more orange, it'll make the orange brighter. If it has more yellow, it'll make the yellows green. So not something that I would care too much for, especially since I'm trying to work towards a project that I worked on before. And I had to sell my entire collection once, and now I'm just trying to get back to something where the yellows were the way they used to be, which had no orange in them and nothing like that. So this guy does have a little bit of orange in him, and it's just something that I'm trying to work out of him. So he has already been paired to 2 females. Let's talk about those 2 females and see what we got going on. This girl here is Goldie. So all my citrus have flower names. So Yarrow is a flower. Goldie is short for goldenrod. I think that's what it's called. I think that's the name of the flower. But she is a hypo citrus. She also has a little bit of orange, not a whole lot of orange. So it's something, again, trying to work out of them. So as I continue this project, I will be looking for more yellows to have less orange so I can continue bringing that yellow out of them and removing that orange into my lines. This next girl here is Poppy. So Poppy, again, is a hypo citrus, just like the last one. They're actually sisters. So this one does have a little bit more orange, but that's totally fine. Again, I'm gonna work the citrus line as much as I can, and I'll hold back all the ones that have the least amount of yellow or the least amount of orange, so I can continue working that yellow line that I'm trying to get. Now, this next male here is Lucifer. He is a red hypotrans leatherback dunner, and this has no red monster lines in it. He's just really dark. I don't know, the camera, from what I can see, is making him look terrible, but he actually is pretty dark, pretty vibrant red. His head does have a little bit of orange in terms of the pattern. You can kind of see that in the video as well. This guy was paired to 1 female so far. Now, this guy is about 170 grams, and he is about, I want to say, maybe a year and 3 months. So he's probably like 15 months old. Now, I typically wait about a year for my males to depending on their size and everything. But this guy was a little bit on the smaller side, so I was going to give him longer. But I started realizing that he was actually very interested in the ladies. And I had a female, she's probably like 330, something like that, 340 grams. And I had that female, and I was like, well, you know, I probably should see what he does. Even if he's not ready, I should see how he reacts. Because sometimes males could not be good breeders, period, and they will never breed. So you even try and try and try, and you never get eggs from them, and they never do anything. So I just wanted to see if he was actually going to be a viable bearded dragon for breeding before I did anything. And he actually proved me wrong. He said, dude, I've been ready for 3 months. But he locked immediately. It was like, why are you doing that? It's not even that bad, dude. He's over here stressing out over being in here. So, again, he was, yeah, he's pissed. See, he wasn't doing this whenever I first put him in there, and now he is. So, yeah, he's not liking it. So this is Pandea, however you want to say it. But this girl here is a 50% red monster or 25% red monster. I have to look, but I'll put it on the screen here. So she is either 25% or 50% red monster. I don't care too much about the red monster. Obviously, red monsters produce red babies. So most of the lines right now that are out there that are red, for some reason, everybody's breeding red monsters. So I was just trying to find red females that were not super into the red monster lineage, not 75%, not 100% or anything like that. So she's either 25 or 50, but I'll put that on the screen like I said. She is also possible double het, hypo, and translucent. And yeah, I think that's it. She had one lock with Lucifer. Then we have this grumpy dude here. This is a kill. He is a hypo leatherback dunner. Obviously, he's a blue bar, tiger, whatever you want to call him. And he is also het for translucent, het for wiblets, and het for zero. So females he's going to be pairing to this year will be all het weros, het wiblets, or het zero to get them out of the way, because I've realized that people like wiblets, but people like zeros more. So even if I don't like zeros, I should still produce some zeros. So the way I'm going to do it is by producing weros, which is going to make it to where I also produce wiblets in the same pairing, which is more so in the lines of what I like. So maybe that'll work out for us. So Akil has already been paired to one female. I haven't seen a visual lock, but I have seen him try several times. But every time I look, he stops. So I've been trying to let him have his moment. So he's tried several times. I would assume that he's probably locked now that I've left him alone. The female is now in hiding, so I assume that he's pasteurized her to the point where she wants to hide all the time. So let's look at the female. So this girl here is Fortuna. She is a hypo, het trans, het wiblets, het zero. So she is a triple het, hypo triple het. And she was paired to Akil, obviously for the weros, the hypos, for the weros, the zeros, and the wiblets. Obviously not the hypos because they're both hypos, so everything will come out hypo anyways. She actually gave us a clutch last year. It was, she was paired to a het wiblets male, and she gave us an infertile clutch. So that was a little bit bad. Before I talk about the females, let's talk about two males that I may have plans for, depending on the situations that arise, depending on the females that get big enough this year. We'll see what happens. Now, this first male was produced here. This is Daffy. And Daffy is super brilliant. He is the best looking dragon I've ever produced in my life. I take that back. I actually produced a female probably like 2016. Her name was Daisy, and she looked just like this, minus the dunner, and she was probably my favorite dragon ever. And I sold her, and she came back to me, and then I had to sell her again because I sold my entire collection in 2018. So it was pretty bittersweet, because considering I love the way they looked. Now, this guy does have some orange in it. So if you look out there in the marketing world of bearded dragons, some people will call this a rainbow bearded dragons because of the colors. They have oranges, blues, yellows, a little bit of greens in there, reds. This guy is obviously not big enough to breed yet. He is about 110 grams. If a male is not at least a year old and over 150 grams, I don't even attempt to breed. So I don't even see if they're interested. I don't usually wait till they're at least 2 years old and 150 grams, or at least 1 year old and 200 grams. Now, the two males that I showed before, Lucifer and Akil, they're about 16 months old and they're about 180, 170 grams. So they're almost there. And they also have been very interested in the ladies. Every time they see one, they go crazy. So I just gave them their shot. Now, Daffy here doesn't turn 1 until about May. So obviously he's not gonna be breeding anytime soon. But if he is at least 150 grams and I'll wait till he's probably like 170, 175 just to give him a little bit of better shot. But he is very interested in the ladies already, even though he's not even a year old yet. This guy here, if he is big enough and he is ready enough, I will see what I compare him to. But for right now, nothing is in the plans for this boy here. But he is a gorgeous boy, and we will see what he does. This male here is Zeus. Zeus is a hypotrans leatherback genetic stripe, also known as a hypotrans leatherback thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is just the extreme version of genetic stripe, not necessarily a super genetic stripe. We've talked about this in a different video, but he is just an extreme version of genetic stripe because that is polygenic. Just like there's extreme blue bars or tigers that have almost their entire back is blue. This male here actually has produced several clutches for us, and especially in 2024, which was his first year breeding. 2025, I'm not too sure what's gonna happen. The females that I had planned for him are a little bit on the smaller side. The female that I've had planned for him, it's like 230 grams, and I usually don't pair my females till they're over 300 grams in at least 2 years. There's people out there that'll say, wait till they're 350 grams, which I agree, but there's females out there that don't get to that size, never will get to that size. So like most of the females that I've shown so far are over 350, 400 grams. 400 grams is like the limit for me. I don't let them go any higher than that because after that, they're almost just obese at that point. So the smallest I will ever pair a female is 275 grams, but they have to be at least 3 years old. And the biggest I'll ever pair a female is 450. After that, I don't pair them until they are way below that. I know people are like, well, don't you want them bigger? After 400 grams, everything after that is fat. There's just obesity on top of obesity after that. And you don't want that in any female bearded dragon or any male bearded dragons. My male bearded dragons, this guy here, he's like 360. He looks perfect. There's nothing wrong with him. He has a super thick tail, super thick legs there. 370, 360, that's a good weight, especially for any bearded dragon. This female here is Zinnia. Zinnia is a hypocitrus tiger. She is het translucent. Now this female here, I have not decided which male I'm gonna pair her to. This is Daffy's mom. Daffy cannot be paired to Daffy's mom. So it's either Yarrow, it's either Akil, or it's Zeus. So the Yarrow pairing obviously will produce more yellows. And the Akil pairing will produce more blue bars, especially adding dunner and leatherback on top of it. So you'll have leatherbacks and dunners that are blue bars, and might add some extreme blue barring in there. So I haven't really decided on that one. Now Zeus being a thunderbolt, I don't know if you saw how black he is. He actually produces a lot of blue bar babies as well, because that black on that thunderbolt is coming from the blue barring in his lineage. And so he produces blue bars. So if I pair her to him, I might get more blue bars as well. But again, if you've never seen a dunner leatherback blue bar, like an extreme leatherback dunner blue bar, those things look amazing. So that might be the pairing that I go for. I think that would be a great pairing. Obviously, she's not het Wiro, so all the babies will only be 50% het Wiro, which kind of sucks, but I could always try to prove them out, especially the ones that look very nice. So I haven't really decided on that one yet. But this girl here is super nice. And I haven't decided which male I'm going to pair her to. Yarrow, Akil, or Zeus. You guys let me know down in the comments. So this here is Aphrodite. Aphrodite is a hypo het trans het wiblets female. She's actually paired for us for 2 years straight now. And this might be her last year breeding for us. I usually don't breed my females after 5 years just because that's just my preference. Other people will breed them till they're like 8 years old. That's perfectly fine. Whatever you think works for you is fine. I prefer 5 years because I like to sell them as pets after that and give them a 10-year, because they can live up to 15 years. So give them at least, 7, 10 years, whatever, of, pet only homes. Now I do treat my dragons fair. I give them everything they need. But I feel like in a pet home, they have more interaction. I have, 40 bearded dragons. It's hard to interact with all 40 the way they should be interacted with, as they would as in a pet home. So that's the reason I do that. Other than that, there's no other reason. I've never noticed like a 7-year-old bearded dragon start producing less. I think most bearded dragons, about half of their lifespan is usually when they stop producing. So about 8, 9 is when they stop producing. So super nice female. She will be paired to a kill, get some wiblets out of her and him. And that's it. Let's go look at the next one. Then we have Kala. Kala is a citrus hypo. She is related to Poppy and Goldie. They have the same parents. So Kala here is going to be paired to either Daffy or to Yarrow. So I haven't decided which one. It's going to be really based off how long Daffy takes to get to size. Because again, 18. So if it's a year old, I try to wait till they're at least, what did I say? 250, 200 grams, something like that. So I just try to wait a little bit longer for males, especially when they're a year old. And now if he was 16 months or 18 months old, then it'd be 200 grams for sure. So this girl here is Iris. She's related to Goldie. She's related to Poppy, and she's related to Kala. And again, this one will either be paired to Yarrow or Daffy, depending on when Daffy gets big enough. So the reason these last two have been Daffy or Yarrow is because these have more orange, and Daffy has that orange, so it doesn't really matter if I pair them to him, versus Yarrow has less orange, so I'm looking to pair him to mainly the yellow ones. So for sure, Goldie and Poppy have already been paired to Yarrow. The Iris and Kala could be Daffy, depending on if he gets to size within the time frame or not. So this one here, same situation. This one could be paired to Yarrow or Daffy, but this one could also be paired to a kill because she has blue barring. So this one is in the same situation as Zinnia, minus the Zinnia being Daffy's mom. She can be paired to Daffy. So this one, haven't decided yet. She might be paired to Daffy if he gets big enough. If not, she might get paired to a kill. If a kill can't handle it, she might be paired to Yarrow. We will see. This one here, so I'm doing 4 pairings at the beginning of the year. And then mid-year, I'll do like 5 pairings. And then at the end of the year, I'll do probably 5 more, depending on the females that are ready, depending on what they do. So I've showed you the 4 that have already been paired. I've showed you 5 that will probably get paired in the middle of the year. And now I'm going to show you the next group that might be paired at the end of the year. So this girl here is Maya. This is the female here that I'm not 100% sure she's going to be big enough for Zeus when the time comes. So she is actually going to be around 18 months or so, fall of 2025. So hopefully I have good feelings that she will be ready to breed by then. She is about 220 grams. Again, I expect them to be about 300 grams before I breed them. The bigger, the better. So if they're closer to 350, even better. So she will hopefully give us eggs in 2025, but definitely will give us eggs in 2026. Then we have Artemis. Artemis is Zeus's daughter. She is the same genetics as Zeus, hypo, trans, leatherback, thunderbolt. This girl is going to be paired to Daffy when they get both big enough. She is going to be 1 in January. So that means in the fall of 2025, she may be ready to breed, and Daffy will definitely be ready to breed. So that may be a pairing that I'll do, because that'll make thunderbolts. That'll also make leatherback dunners. That'll also make super thunderbolt That'll also make hypotrans leatherback thunderbolts that are also dunner. So super nice. Can't wait to see what happens. And as I mentioned, this is pretty early in the morning, so the dragons haven't heated up yet. This is obviously a very good sign of a dragon that has not heated up yet. This is a hypo zero. Zeros, whenever they are soaking up the sun, soaking up the heat, they turn super dark. And that's exactly what we have here. This is Sarasvati. She is a hypo zero het translucent, possible het wiblets. Now, I don't have any het wiblets males here that are not het zero as well. So this is going to be something that I either outsource a male that is het wiblets, not het zero, or I'll pair her to Zeus and produce zeros or het zeros that are genetic stripe, and we'll see where that goes. This girl here is Athena. Athena is related to Pandia actually. And what was that? You don't like me moving? She's getting tripped out. What happened to you? She's getting tripped out by me moving or something. So this girl here is a red het trans, possible het trans, possible het hypo. She also has a little bit of barring there. She will be paired to Lucifer. So the reason she is not being paired to Lucifer right now is because this girl is about 280 grams. And again, I will wait till she's about 300 grams. Now I could pair her to Lucifer in middle of 2025. Haven't decided yet. That's really up to her. She may be getting paired in the mid 2025 instead of fall 2025, and I'll switch some things around. But as of right now, she is being paired fall 2025 because why not? Get some reds beginning of the year, get some reds at the end of the year. Obviously, it would be better to get reds all throughout the year, but it is what it is. This girl will be paired for sure in the fall to Lucifer. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you saw something you wanted to get a baby out of. I will also be making another video on the ball python part of things. And my hognose male is still too shy of breeding weight. So he is, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to breed. The brumation of hognoses ends here shortly. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to breed him. He's probably like 10 grams away from breeding weight, which could take him several months to get there. I might still be able to breed him later in the year, but as of right now, no hognose clutches unless I find an adult male and possibly sell this male. So if you wanna get a hognose male, he is, I'll post a picture of him, but he is a super conda xanthic albino. Again, he's like 10 grams shy of breeding weight. So if you are looking for a hognose snake and you want an xanthic, hit me up. I might sell him and then I'll just buy another male that is ready to breed right now. Cost me a little bit more, but at least I have them out of the way so I can put a male in rotation ASAP. Now, obviously I could keep him and still get the other male, but I don't have that many hognose females ready to breed, so it doesn't make sense for me to have multiple males right now. So with that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I put out in the future. As always, peace.